Good evening, CSU, and welcome to CTV News. I'm Nicole Parra.
And I'm Nate Day. Let's investigate into the breaking news that unfolded in Las Vegas this weekend. A lone gunman killed 59 people and injured 529 others at a concert in Las Vegas late Sunday night in the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The shooter, identified by law enforcement officials as 64-year-old Stephen Craig Paddock, opened fire from a room in the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino on the crowd of about 22,000 attending a country music festival. According to CNN, Paddock had 23 weapons and thousands of rounds of ammunition inside his suite in Las Vegas. Police also found ingredients for explosives inside Paddock's home and car. Yet no one knows why Stephen Paddock morphed from a retired accountant to the deadliest mass murderer in U.S. history. Survivor Dee's Mansholt stated on the main floor there was no cover, they were all exposed, so you didn't know if somebody was shot or if they were laying down. Survivor Corinne Lomas also added, a lot of really good people were holding people's wounds shut, trying to help them while everyone was just ducked down. Tragically, one of the victims in the shooting included 28-year-old Christopher Roybal, who lived in Colorado Springs. Roybal served 4 tours of intense combat in Afghanistan. His memory and service will not be forgotten.
Colorado State University is here for those affected directly and indirectly by the massacre in Las Vegas. President Tony Frank addressed the shooting in a campus-wide email Monday morning, offering support and assistance for those who may have been personally impacted. Frank's email listed on-campus resources for impacted students, faculty, and staff. Counseling services are available for students through the CSU Health Network, and similar resources are available for employees through the Office of the Ombuds and Employee Assistance Program. Frank noted that further university updates of efforts to support victims, first responders, and families will come through Source, and encourage those who want to show support to make blood donations through the Garth Englund Blood Center in Fort Collins. On behalf of CSU PD, Frank urged the community to be mindful and report anything if something does not feel or seem right.
Colorado State University's very own Salah Abdul Gani and Danielle Tavani have officially become United States citizens in a ceremony at Rocky Mountain National Park in August. Abdul Gani is a professor of biology, and Tavani is an associate professor in economics and is a graduate coordinator. Tavani was born and raised in Rome, then decided to go to the New School for Social Research in New York City in 2005. For his undergraduate degree, to transplant his life from Rome to the United States, Tavani had to go through a series of visas. After graduation, Tavani and his family moved to Fort Collins, where he was hired to teach at CSU. Collegian reporter McKenna Shanholtz interviewed Tavani about his time here in the U.S., the changes he has seen between the U.S. and Italy, and his thoughts on DACA.
So I was born and raised in Rome, Italy. Moved to the U.S. in 2005. I'm married, I have 1 child. Mostly we applied for citizenship because we wanted to be able to vote in the country. And after being, living here for a while, paying taxes, we felt like we were missing the active participation in the political life of the country, and I wouldn't have minded too much staying in a work permit or a green card if I were able to vote in administrative elections, at least locally, but you're not allowed to. And so, I think I want to be able to make decisions about, politics, and so that's why we became citizens. And so we're excited that we're able to vote. So I think that the ending of the DACA program, or at least the announced ending of the DACA program, is deeply troublesome. I'm terrified of it. I think the number of people that are affected is staggering. We're talking about 790,000 people who came in and are in this status not because of their own choices. I think this population is very vulnerable. And I'm terrified that some of the students, I think there's 189 students in Colorado State that are at risk of deportation. I hope this doesn't happen. In terms of the travel ban, I think that's also quite difficult to swallow. It feels very vulnerable population, and also like why the specific countries that they picked and why not other countries. So even from a purely logical standpoint, I'm puzzled by it.
Rock legend Tom Petty was pronounced dead yesterday after he went into full cardiac arrest. First reports of his death stirred quite a bit of confusion. It turns out the original news story reported by CBS was premature, and several additional news outlets soon picked up the story as well. According to reports, Petty was found unconscious in his Malibu home on Sunday night and was rushed to UCLA Santa Monica Hospital. However, news outlets pronounced him as dead about an hour later, but LAPD came forward saying it could not confirm his death. They also appeared to take blame via social media, saying, quote, "The LAPD has no information about the passing of singer Tom Petty. Initial information was inadvertently provided to some media sources." They also said, however, the LAPD has no investigative role in this matter. The widely circulated premature report led to an outpouring of tributes from fellow musicians who took to social media to pay their respects, including John Mayer, who tweeted, "I love Tom Petty, and I covered his songs because I wanted to know what it felt like to fly. You belong somewhere you feel free." Furthermore, Petty's Wikipedia bio was even updated to show that he died, then was removed, and then updated again once his death was actually confirmed. Petty was most notably known for songs such as American Girl and Free Falling, and will be remembered as a rock legend in the music community. Popular nighttime skit series Saturday Night Live returned this past weekend. Ryan Gosling hosted the night and starred in several skits, and rapper Jay-Z made a musical appearance. SNL has seen a drastic increase in ratings due to their comical portrayal of the current reality show that is our government. And let me tell you, they are by no means planning on easing up this season. The show kicked off with a cold open featuring Alec Baldwin's portrayal of Trump. Baldwin satirized Trump's political actions and responses, as well as poked fun at the relationship he has with Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The show also included a weekend update starring Colin Jost and Michael Che, a segment where the pair discussed the prior week. Jost and Che made several jabs at Trump, specifically in regards to his lack of response to the crisis in Puerto Rico. Jost said, quote, "How is the President of the United States worse at humanitarian aid than Pitbull? And you know Pitbull was doing it while also featuring on 4 different tracks. If we're being completely honest with each other, SNL may be the only thing that gets me through these next 3 years." Over the weekend, I got to participate in one of my all-time favorite Fort Collins events. Fort Collins saw its 3rd annual Tour de Corgi this past weekend, and it definitely lived up to all of the hype.
It's just fantastic to see everyone here who just adores corgis.
It's just a hilarious event, and you just see so many of the weirdest dog in the entire world.
However, all dogs were welcome.
All puppers are honorary corgis for Tour de Corgi.
The event kicked off at 10 a.m. with the Corgi Meetup and Costume Contest at Civic Center Park. A panel of judges evaluated several corgis in a series of categories, including Cutest Couple, Like Human Like Corgi, and Funniest Furry. The winner received a certificate as well as a bag of treats for their furry friend.
It's like a running joke that he's just a loaf because he often tucks his legs underneath him and he just looks like a loaf of bread.
Owners and corgis continued to interact with one another until beginning the iconic Corgi Parade at noon.
Literally like a mile of corgis nonstop.
The parade went through the majority of Old Town and ended back at Civic Center Park. Not only are corgis adorable, but their big personalities make them one of the most lovable dogs.
Big dog and a little dog body. Big dog personality, little dog body.
Events such as this are important because it provides pups the opportunity to stay active.
Lots of exercise, getting them out, letting them play.
The day proved to be tons of fun and left both owners and corgis alike excited to return.
And so I can get your booty. Oh!
Maybe not. Proceeds from the event benefit 4 Paws Pet Pantry as well as the Wyoming Dachshund and Corgi Rescue. Well, rapper Lil Wayne canceled his appearance at a concert this past weekend because he didn't want to go through a mandatory security check. He was scheduled to perform at the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina, but never actually made it into the building. The venue released a statement saying, quote, "While we regret the artist's decision not to perform, Colonial Life Arena is not willing to bypass its security standards and jeopardize the safety of its patrons, performers, or staff members." However, acts such as Cardi B, 2 Chainz, and Tory Lanez still all took to the stage. Well, Rams, it's officially October, and I am ready to fall hard for fall. Northern Colorado is filled with fun fall activities to do beyond the month of October. If you're looking to carve a pumpkin or simply have nice fall decor for your house, there are several places you can go to get a pumpkin outside of your local grocery store. The Bartels offers free admissions, parking, and pumpkins starting at $1. The Fritzer's Corn Maze has daytime activities as well as nighttime campfires. If you're looking for something a little bit spookier, Loveland features a $17 creepy walk in the woods, which, side note, I don't see why anyone would want to do that. That's basically asking for trouble, but hey, if that's your thing, then be my guest. Finally, Northern Colorado Corn Maze has scavenger hunts, bounce houses, farm animals, and a pumpkin patch, the perfect place for fun for the whole family. I will definitely be checking all of these attractions out before the fall season is over, minus the wood walk. Thank you.
Welcome back to Local Beats. I'm Carson, and today I'm here with Tony from James Anthony Studio. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to tell us a little about yourself and what you're kind of doing?
Yeah, so I'm a local musician that does a lot of different rock music and alternative stuff, and yeah, just been playing, and we're actually working on a new album right now, my first full-length album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's in the studio you created, correct?
Yeah, so it's nothing fancy. It's just a few microphones and a laptop that I set up in my my apartment bedroom, so. But it works.
Yeah.
I've been recording off that for a while now. So.
That's awesome. So what's that process of kind of just working by yourself? I know that usually bands have a bunch of other people and they have a lot of other people coming in. Like creatively, is that kind of freeing to have your own decision on everything?
It kind of is, but it's also kind of a curse at the same time because I play guitar, drums, vocals, and bass, but I'm not that good at drums, so it would be kind of nice to have someone else who knew what they were doing on the drums. But so from that standpoint, I guess it kind of causes a little bit of issue, but I like it a lot. This is my first full-length album, like I said, so I actually took a new creative writing process from my previous projects before. So I started it in January and just started writing, and it kind of took on a life of its own. And then one thing led to another, and then now I have almost a full album now. So.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, and you said you're kind of rock, alternative. What are maybe some of kind of your influences, or what is some other music you've liked in the past, or that has helped you kind of get here?
Actually, I grew up listening to country and gospel. That's all my parents listened to. So actually, I didn't even know rock was out there until one day we were driving home and I was with my dad, and AC/DC Back in Black came on the radio. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what is this? And he showed me, and then and then he started showing me all the bands that he used to listen to when he was a kid or my age, and you know, like Kiss, Guns N' Roses, Poison, all that stuff, and then it just went on from there. So some of my biggest influences right now are probably Skillet, Papa Roach, bunch of different ones. Let's see, AC/DC, obviously. Even some country artists too, Gilbert and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't like to restrict myself to one genre. I kind of like to branch out, kind of see where it goes. But rock is always the main focus of my music and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, and you were talking about your album. How many songs is it, and is there kind of like a main focus about the album? Is it about anything?
So. It actually started off with one song. It's actually a single up on my YouTube page right now called Head Game, which was a song that I wrote in January. I was in a really dark place, and it was kind of talking about, like, I need to get out of my head, and, you know, there's more out there and stuff like that. So then I was like, well, I could make this into an album. So I didn't really have a focus or a plan for it when I started writing it. I just kind of started putting songs to it, and it kind of grew into a life of its own. So really it's a story about like going through depression and anxiety and stuff like that, something I really faced this year. So it starts off kind of dark and hard with songs like Head Game, and then my other single that I just released called Falling Lights. And then it kind of goes into this lighter side of things where you start to turn around and start realizing getting out of this source of depression and, you know, start getting back into normal life really. And then, so it's just kind of an evolution of kind of my journey throughout this year.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. Do you have any upcoming performances, like any where people can look for you?
I don't right now. I've been playing a lot of open mics just because it's me and an acoustic guitar. It was pretty fun to kind of get back out there. I've been a part of a lot of different bands, and so it's been a while since I performed live, so it's kind of nice to get back out and start with the smaller venue. But I'm working with another drummer right now, and hopefully we'll start playing some bigger shows and stuff. And
that's awesome.
More heavy.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to maybe say to the audience? Some places we can find your music, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm working on a website right now, so you can check it out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all under James Anthony Studios. For Instagram, it's James_Anthony Studios. Yeah, go check it out, and the album will be released here in January, actually.
Awesome. Yeah. Tony, thank you so much for having us.
I appreciate it.
Hi, and welcome to CTV. I'm Marla Lundak.
And I'm Amelia Castaneda, and welcome to CTV News.
By now, we have all been informed about the tragic events that occurred in Las Vegas on Sunday night, where 64-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire on a country music festival, killing around 60 people and injuring over 500 others. Paddock's weapons were obtained legally, which has stirred up a controversial conversation across the nation. I talked to students around campus to get some opinions on the event and what students feel is necessary regarding gun laws.
Get away from everything and just have a fun time. And I've never not felt safe in Vegas every time I've been. But we were sitting in the airport just waiting to leave, and we started hearing about it. We were on the airplane and taxiing to take off, and so we had, I think, one of the last planes to take off before they shut down the airport that night, and just kind of a surreal experience to now have that moment now be a part of the trip that we were on, and so that trip will now be synonymous with right now the largest modern massacre that we've had in the United States.
It's tragic. I wish I could do more, and it's heartbreaking.
I know there have a lot of shooting in America, but I know this time is kind of different. Yeah, I was shocked when I heard the numbers of people died. Yeah,
there should be no reason that Americans should be able to buy automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons, because that's used for killing multiple people.
I don't necessarily agree that people should be able to easily obtain assault rifles, such as an M16, because why essentially would we need an assault rifle to carry? Chances are you're not going to want to hunt with an assault rifle.
I think the gun is a first, and it's a good and a perfect way, and really the fast way to protect themselves. I think that is what Americans think.
I would say it's tough to start looking at gun laws just from mass shootings. I think it's a good topic to start bringing it up, but it's never a good way to start making policy.
Many people are raising money for victims of this tragedy. You can help by donating to various GoFundMe pages on Facebook.
The Colorado State University Board of Governors unanimously decided to demolish Huge Stadium, the former home of the Colorado State University football team, earlier today. The proposal to deconstruct Huge Stadium was presented by Executive Vice Chancellor Amy Parsons and is projected to cost between $4 million to $6 million. These projected costs are expected to be reimbursed from the proceeds of the property sale or ground lease. At this time, the proposal estimates a 6 to 9 month time frame for completion. According to the project proposal prompt, deconstruction of Huge Stadium is preferred to eliminate further stadium costs and to prevent the vacant property from becoming a nuisance. There will be an open house October 18th to address community concerns. We're purposely taking our time with this process to make sure that we do a good job with community input, Executive Vice Chancellor Amy Parsons, who presented the proposal, said.
Following an anti-Semitic message written on the door of a dorm room here at Colorado State, Jewish students organized a demonstration by walking through campus and the LSE, showing Jewish symbols and signs to demonstrate the unity and pride. The demonstration was held earlier today as they walked through campus reciting Jewish hymns before ending at the sukkah that is put up every year near the LSE Plaza. An event held for CSU students was held earlier, and we had Aaliyah Gorelik to cover.
On Monday, the LSE held a talk called Dialogues Around Difference. The main focus was reframing perspectives of immigrants and refugees. Leaders of Colorado's immigrant and refugee centers spoke out about what you can do to get involved on college campuses.
I came to this talk today because I think that the immigrant and refugee community and undocumented students are all populations that live on the margins, and being a university that sort of fosters a land grant view and trying to be welcoming to all those in the community and the state of Colorado that includes those populations as well.
The panel noted that many students suffer from anxiety and depression because of their legal status.
As we look at what happens around the world in general and our history of being, all of us are immigrants somewhere.
I'm participating in the Dialogues Around Difference conversation today in that capacity because I am here to speak about immigration and what's happening with refugees at the national level, but also how we can get involved at the local level.
CSU has approximately 189 students that are being affected by DACA.
So, refugees and immigrants, it's an issue of human dignity. Refugees and immigrants, it's an issue of shared prosperity, right? And so framing and reframing the way we talk about immigrants and refugees is talking about refugees and immigrants as contributors to our community.
Speaking out about refugees and immigrants is a point of resistance to shift the master narrative. Activism helps those who are undocumented have a voice.
At this week's ASCSU meeting, President Josh Silva's impeachment moved one step forward with the ratification of an impeachment committee. The impeachment committee will investigate charges stated on the finalized petition, which includes all previous charges except the charge of Silva showing up intoxicated to a Senate session and the charge of harassment and discrimination, as that charge is currently being investigated by the Office of Equal Opportunity at the school. Silva approached the floor later that night and stated that the actions of the Senate body pained him, but he urged them to follow through with the process.
Today, outside Hawthorne Medical Center, ASCSU and the Larimer County Food Bank teamed up to provide students with the food in a once-a-month event known as the Mobile Food Bank. Students lined up along University to get in on this deal and stock up their apartments with everything from Ritz crackers to mangoes. It was quite the effort, but ended up putting a smile on the face of many broke college students. For more information, visit the Mobile Food Bank Facebook page.
On Wednesday, students from the Fort Collins School District spent the entire day at CSU learning about math, science, and technology.
300 fourth grade students arrived at CSU on Wednesday morning, excited to participate in workshops and listen to guest speakers revolving math, science, and technology.
Science Technology Day is an opportunity for many committee members across campus, including El Centro, the Access Center, and the Natural Sciences, to bring fourth graders to campus and help them think about their future.
Math, Science, and Technology Day began in 1990, making this their 27th year.
Provide exposure to the students for the university. These are Latinx students that had never entered in any space in the university. And then also, this is providing them with a career that they might not know anything about. And that was the STEM areas, the sciences, the mathematics, the engineering, medical fields that students might not know about.
Among the volunteers was peer academic leader Kylie Contreras, who says this event is needed.
It's like, this is something that a lot of people do. This is something that people who look like them can do. CSU is for everybody. Like, if you have the want to do it, you can figure out a way. And I want them to be able to see that, like, science in general is also something that's for everybody. And anyone who is interested in science can do science.
CSU will continue hosting this annual event. Visit El Centro Diversity Office on campus for more information.
Bob's Burgers, the hilarious animated show this past weekend, announced that they are going to have a feature film. Yes, the 20th Century Films announced that this comedy will have its feature-length film in 2020. They had their 8th season this past week, which just started, and but it also has to work for. If you haven't seen this show, go watch it. It's the best. Like, this is my favorite show in the world. I mean, you have at least 3 years until this film comes out to see 8 seasons. Moving on to some local news. In local Fort Collins news, they will be opening, Panhandler's Pizza will be reopening this September at a new location. This Fort Collins favorite has been serving pizza for 37 years and closed on September 24th this year. The owner, John Olson, came out and said, "After 37 years, I believe this is the right time and opportunity for me to retire," until it was sold to former Panhandler's manager, Luann DeCourcy. Luann stated that she couldn't watch a place like this go down, saying, quote, "I know how much people love it. It is a piece of Fort Collins." She even salvaged original brick and the original oven from the first location. This new Panhandler's Pizza will feature all of the same menu items and will be cooked the exact same way. This new location should be up and running early November, and I'm definitely going to be there when it opens. Fort Collins had a very musical birthday this past weekend, so let's check it out. This past weekend, it was their 1-year anniversary, so students and professional musicians were invited to perform for their celebration. Jesse Elliott told me what he wanted this event to be about.
I wanted it to really feature and be more about the broader community of Fort Collins musicians and music businesses and nonprofits and music fans and people who just love music. So we wanted it to be about what other people are doing.
Like longtime student Emma Marie, along with students like Emma, they had professional performers like the Rickshaw Live, who even let me take a ride. And the Gorilla Fanfare Brass Band.
We asked a bunch of different folks to come in and activate different spaces, whether it's the parking lot or the attic or the long building, with all the stuff that they do.
Along with this great music, people could take inside tours, learn how to score a movie, and enjoy some great food. To find out more about all the great events here at the Music District, go to www.themusicdistrict.com. Applebee's, that restaurant your friends suggest ironically when you can't decide on where to eat. Like seriously, there was one 5 minutes away from my house, and I don't know about you, but I cannot remember the last time someone has said, hey, why not Applebee's? Whether this is the case for you or not, maybe you're some Applebee's regular, this will all change this month with their new special for the entire month of October known as the Dollarita. The Dollarita is a $1 margarita served all day at your local location. Patrick Kirk, Applebee's Vice President of Beverage Innovation, stated, "Our $1 margarita in October gives us a chance to show our guests a little love, giving them totally unbeatable offer as a gesture of our sincere appreciation for their patronage." So I'll be getting out 4 quarters and Google Maps because, let's be honest, who knew we even had an Applebee's, and getting myself over there before the deal ends. Hello, Carson. I am joined here with Carson Porterfield, and we're going to be talking about some great events in Fort Collins.
Heck yeah!
So, in case you guys all did not know, this Sunday there will be an event in the Old Town Square where people can yell, "I need it" from SpongeBob as loud as they can, starting at 2 p.m. So, Carson, what do you think of this event?
You know, I think it's really great. I think, you know, there's been a lot of events and stuff going on lately that it's very sectionalized, and it doesn't, you know, it's not very unifying. And I think this is something that can bring a lot of people together and, you know, unite us under one thing, which is SpongeBob. You know, it's great.
That is great. And of course, we're not the first people to do this. There's been a lot of other events out there like this. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, I know in Pennsylvania they did some like Naruto run into the hurricane during when that happened, which probably not the most safest thing in the world, but that happened. They had a fire your gun into the hurricane. A lot of hurricane things, but you know, it's pulling people together.
It is. That's for sure. So this event, I did some research into it. It says that it starts at 2 p.m. and it doesn't really have an end time. So do you think we all just have to get there at 2, all scream unanimously as loud as we can, or is it kind of a throughout the day type of event? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll start strong and maybe kind of slow down a little bit, but I think it'll probably go as long as people want it to. Hopefully forever, you know? Yeah. You never know.
Kind of a final question. Will you be going this weekend?
I plan on doing it, and I'm going to scream until my voice gives out, or, you know, I'd faint from exhaustion.
That's great. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.